Okay, this is the first video I'm going to start doing with advanced videos on pro sound. And this topic is on gain structure. This is not a beginner video. If you don't know how to use a mixer, watch my mixer video. If you're just buying a system, I have a couple other beginner videos. But this is an advanced video on gain structure and how to set it up. So, what gain structure is, and a lot of people get this wrong. This and speaker placement are the two biggest mistakes people make, even professionals make, when running sound and setting up a system. So I thought this was really important to cover, and I wanted to explain it. And the nice thing about these things, you can try them. If you don't believe me, try them once and you'll see how well it works, and you can always go back. It's not a permanent change, but this is a philosophy on how to set up gain structure, and it's the best way to do it. It saves you a lot of damage and a lot of wear and tear on your equipment and a lot of heat on your amplifiers. Because anytime you overuse something, you have a better chance of blowing a speaker. You have a better chance of your amp shutting off because it's too hot. So this is the correct way to set it up. So the theory behind it, and I'm going to show you how to do it. The theory behind it is you got your input source. In this case, it's going to be a mic, but it could be a CD player, it could be a computer, it could be a guitar. You got your input device, you got your channel, you got your output from here, and then you got your input onto your amplifier. And you could have more complex. You could have, you could add crossovers, you add EQs and stuff like that. But just for simplistic and for theory, this is basically you got your input device, you got your channel, you got your main out, and you got your input on your amplifier. So how gain works is, this is your input device for this, and this could be any device. You want to get the most out of this. You want to work your way down the gain structure. Often the biggest mistake is people work their way up the gain structure, meaning they turn the sensitivity up on their amps the whole ways. Next they turn this up as little as possible, and then they turn these up as little as possible. What happens is, when you do that reverse gain structure like that, your amp sensitivity is cranked. Okay? First of all, because your amp sensitivity is cranked, it's picking up everything. That's why when you go in to see a band or you go in to hear a speaker, it's like sss, you get that hiss sound, because the sensitivity is so far up on the amps, it's picking up any noise in any of your equipment, which all equipment gives off noise, any of your cables, and it picks up all that noise, and it's unnecessary. The other bad part about it is, that's where you get into blowing speakers, because your sensitivity on your amps are cranked the whole ways up, and I'll show you how to set those. But they're cranked so far up, if something in a signal change, say a pop, say something this mixer would shut off. Well, just because you have the level down here, that pop is going to throw a full force signal through your amplifier out to your speakers, and chances are it's going to blow your horn. Same way with feedback. If you have your gain structure in reverse order and it's maxed at the bottom of the chain, everything's going to be amplified to its maximum output. So that's why you always want to do a top-down gain structure. So, how you do it? So first of all, we are on channel 3. So that's us. You can see when I hit the mic, you can see it come up. Now what you want to do is, you want to, as I'm talking right now, you can see over here, you can see this going up and down. So as I'm talking right now, at this level, I'm at about 10. So what you want to do is you want to adjust the gain on here to about 0. And then you don't want to do it just check, 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 puh, 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 puh. You see how it spikes up. Now, obviously, when I go puh, you know that's going to be a spike, but check, check hard. That's kind of where you want it right now. Even though it's not at 0 all the time, as the singer gets louder, it goes up, and you don't want it to go into the red. So that's a good level right now. So we got the gain structure in here. So we're basically, what we're doing is we're getting the highest, cleanest signal out of this microphone into this board. So that's top level. Next is you adjust the level So we're going to unmute this, take the brake switch off. Next, we want to get this level up. So, check. 1, 2, 2, 2. Again, we got it about a little under unity gain. Unity gain means you don't add, you don't subtract. Unity gain is either 0, or sometimes it's U, or sometimes it's an infinity symbol. It is basically you're not adding, you're not taking away, and that's where you want to kind of be. Again, we're on 3 here, so we're way below unity gain. So we want to take this up to about right there, so we have a little bit of room. Check. 1, 2, 2, 2. And that's about perfect. So if I check hard, it goes up past unity gain. If I go low, if I'm just talking like this, it's below. But that's fine, because again, you want to compensate for louder. You know, people are going to sing louder and lower and louder and lower. And if you have a guy running, he can fix that real time. But if you don't have somebody running the board, you can't. And the guitar and stuff is a more level output. So now we got the gain structure set correctly on the board. We have the maximum amount of signal coming out of here. We're pulling the maximum amount of signal out of the microphone. We got the maximum amount of signal coming out of the channel. And we got the maximum amount of signal coming out of the main board. And we got a little bit of room. We could go a little better, but you always want to leave a little bit of room, so if it gets more packed in the location, or you get more people, or you just need a little more volume, you don't want to always be maxed out. But at this point, we're getting the maximum amount of headroom out of this board, and not, you know, so the amplifiers can work a lot less. So I'm going to pause it here and move down to the amplifiers. Now we're at the second part of our video. The first part, we got the maximum amount of signal coming out of the board. Now at this point, I don't have the EQ set up right now, but if you did, we're using EQ because this is just a practice setup at the house. But a live setting, you're using EQ. Now you don't want to really add gain in your EQ, or if you have any other processors, if you have a feedback controller, a crossover, and that kind of equipment, you don't want to add or subtract from your signal at that point. You got your maximum headroom coming out of your mixer. At this point, you want to try to just maintain that. So if your EQ adds a little bit of output, you may want to cut it. It has a level out.